Have you ever paused long enough to wonder, is this all there is? Wake up, work, eat, sleep, repeat? But what if life wasn't meant to be just a cycle of tasks and obligations? What if beneath the surface of our routines lies something deeper, something sacred, something wildly alive? There are moments, fleeting, rare, where we witness someone fully immersed in their element, a violinist lost in the melody, a dancer moving as if the universe itself guides their limbs, a writer scribbling with such focus the world fades away. What we witness in these people isn't just talent, it's something more primal. It's joy, flowing effortlessly. It's passion, unfiltered by ambition or reward. And here's the twist: they don't chase passion. It emerges when the self, the inner commentator, the planner, the worrier, steps aside. Let that sink in. Passion is not found. It reveals itself in the absence of the self. Think back to a moment when you were completely absorbed, building something, helping someone, writing, singing, running, and time vanished. That was it. That was the doorway. What was the quality of your mind in that moment? Silent? Free? Present? Yet most of us live trapped, using the now as a means to some imagined future, hustling not for joy but for outcome, creating not for love but for approval. That's where the fracture begins. Because the moment you seek a result, the purity of the act is diluted. It becomes transactional, and true passion cannot survive in a transaction. Passion is the dance of the soul, not a deal struck for gain. But we live in a world that rarely honors that truth. We trade our days for money. We seek titles, not meaning. We perform tasks that drain us just to maintain an identity we didn't choose. Thoreau said it best: most men lead lives of quiet desperation. And many of us, deep down, know it's true. Still, we press on, believing that one day, when the money's enough or the schedule clears, we'll finally live, finally breathe, finally be. But here's a radical thought. The quality of your inner life has very little to do with your outer circumstances. Think of the person who laughs in poverty and the one who cries in luxury. Clearly, joy isn't earned through possessions or achievements. It's cultivated within. Sam Harris once said, "It is your mind, rather than circumstances, that determines the quality of your life." So why do we continue treating life like a staircase to climb instead of a garden to tend? When we grind ourselves into dust, chasing a future that never arrives, we miss the gift of now. We become ghosts in our own lives. To write only for the algorithm, to wake up only to impress a boss, to create only to be validated. It's a prison with golden bars. Even the freedom we dream of, working remotely, living on our terms, becomes another cage if it's still tied to pressure and metrics. If the act itself no longer brings joy, no outcome can save it. Chomsky once warned that work done under command, even if it's beautiful, reveals a deeper tragedy: the loss of freedom. Because when we act only for reward, we surrender something sacred, our authenticity. So, what is real freedom? It's not just about quitting your job or moving to the mountains. It's about liberating the mind from pressure, from the compulsion to prove, to chase, to survive at the cost of being. I once thought life was about the destination: earn, achieve, retire. But a single question shattered that illusion. It came from a professor as I pitched a startup idea I didn't love. "Why are you doing this?" he asked. "If it doesn't bring you joy?" "To get rich and retire early," I replied confidently. He stared at me. "Why do you need to retire early?" "So I can be free and finally enjoy life." There it was. He introduced me to the idea of intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. One comes from a place of love, the other from fear or desire. One is rooted in the present, the other lost in some future. But how do we break the cycle, especially if we have bills, obligations, responsibilities? We start by simplifying. The quieter your life becomes, the clearer your passion speaks. Less noise, less obligation, less clutter. That's where presence lives. That's where you start hearing the whispers that guide you back home to yourself. Call it minimalism, call it mindfulness, call it sanity. Zen masters and Stoics knew needing less is the beginning of true wealth, not the kind in bank accounts, but the kind that fills your soul. Francine Jay put it perfectly. My goal is no longer to get more done, but to have less to do. When your life isn't crowded with goals, apps, alerts, and pressures, something extraordinary happens. You arrive. You show up fully for this moment. This simplicity extends to relationships too. Let go of those that drain you. Let go of traditions that don't align. Sometimes freedom requires walking away from expectations, from comfort, even from people. Financially, it means redefining success. Instead of chasing more, ask what enough looks like. When your needs shrink, your freedom grows. As the Zen saying goes, let go or be dragged. Let go of the wardrobe that screams old identities. Let go of the subscription that drains your time. Let go of the internal voices telling you who you should be. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It's the presence of clarity. That's how I found my passion, not by chasing it, but by doing nothing. Yes, you heard that right. I stopped striving. I paused the hustle. I chose silence, and slowly the fog lifted. I slept more. I ate better. I moved gently. I ended relationships that didn't nourish me. I listened. I breathed. And in that stillness, clarity arrived. Ideas came. Words flowed. Writing became my sanctuary. What began as journaling became pages, posts, and eventually a community. It wasn't planned. It emerged. And though I didn't make much money, I gained something far more precious: peace. When you do what you love, even without reward, each day becomes a gift. You won't find passion in a spreadsheet or a 5-year plan. You'll find it when you dare to be still, when you stop becoming and start being. Carl Jung once said, "If you do your work truly and conscientiously, unknown friends will come and seek you." I found that to be true. The right people arrive when you stop pretending. When you live your truth, you become a light for others to find their way. So here's my invitation. Don't wait for a sign. Don't wait for permission. Begin now, not by doing more, but by doing less. Clear the clutter. Listen inward. Follow what feels alive, even if it makes no sense. Because the life you're meant to live isn't out there. It's hidden in plain sight. It's in the quiet, in the stillness, in you. And maybe, just maybe, the first step is to stop chasing and start asking, who am I without the noise?